Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Chavito, it's the Ocho, and today I want to make a video celebrating 7 years with the release of the Nintendo Switch. So, in this video, we'll be talking about a short history behind the Nintendo Switch, along with its best-selling games and what special features the Nintendo Switch has to offer. But before we start, if you guys would like to see more videos in the upcoming future, then make sure you guys like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell. And don't forget to follow me on social media, and the original links will be down in the description below. Without any further ado, let's begin! It's hard to believe that it's been 7 years since the release of the Nintendo Switch, but here we are. This console has been a game changer in gaming, and I have to say, it's one hell of a ride. One of the things that the Nintendo Switch stood out from the crowd compared to the Xbox One and the PS4 was its portability. Since the 3DS release, players have wanted a console that is not only powerful and will let you play in AAA games, but able to be portable as well. Being able to take your favorite games on the go is something that Nintendo fans wanted it for a long time, and the Nintendo Switch delivered on that promise. Whether you are sitting at the bus, or walking in the park, or just lounging on the couch, or traveling on an airplane, the Nintendo Switch has been there for us. You can even play games with your friends and your family. Another thing that made the Nintendo Switch so successful was its library of games. From the iconic Mario and Zelda franchises to the small but successful indie games like Stardew Valley, Undertale, Shantae, and Celeste. And there's also the third-party game support like Witcher 3 and Fortnite. If you wanted to race against your friends, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has all of your favorite Mario characters and your favorite stages from the past and the future, including Mario Kart Tour. You could build any car you want from any car part, clobber your opponents with a bullet bill, or just slip them over with a banana peel. And as soon as you boost your way to first place, the last thing you heavily suspect was the blue shell. And God, we know how awful those things are. If you're feeling groovy, Just Dance was also another game that I remember playing in the past for the Wii, but now since I own it for the Switch, now you can be able to dance and work out with your friends and your family. The only sad thing is, if you want to be able to have more access to different songs, you have to pay for your annual membership with Ubisoft Plus. And of course, one of my favorite fighting games growing up is Super Smash Bros. I actually have owned Super Smash Bros. Ultimate since 2019, and I actually won it for a free contest. So thank you Silly Points for that free video game, and of course the Nintendo Switch. And if I didn't have the Switch today, I wouldn't be able to make this video. And also, since I've been starting to play Kingdom Hearts, I really love the game and I fell in love with the franchise. But thanks to Sora's inclusion, it just makes my day even more happier. Who really knows what the Switch has in store for the future, but hopefully we'll get more Smash content, even if it means rebooting the franchise into a small roster again. Now that we covered about the games, I do want to talk about the hardware, but I don't want to get too technical about it, so I'm just going to keep it short and simple. You can read more about the hardware specs from Wikipedia. The link is in the description below. The Nintendo Switch consists of a 6.2 LCD touchscreen, a custom NVIDIA Tegra processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and 32 gigabytes of internal storage. And you can be able to expand up to 2 terabytes with the micro SD card. It also supports Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a USB-C charging port, just like the ones you have for Samsung phones, And if you ever need to connect your headphones with a wired 3.5mm headphone jack, then you can do so. The Joy-Con controllers are very similar to the Wii remote, but it has gyroscopic motion controls, HD rumble, and you can use Amiibo in order to be able to play games with Amiibo figures. And you can connect up to 4 different Joy-Con controllers at a time, and if you happen to have 8 different Nintendo Switch consoles, you can connect up to 8 different consoles at a time for local multiplayer. Isn't that amazing? This kind of reminds me of the Nintendo DS when we used to connect up to 4 different DS consoles. Now in terms of battery life, the Switch has a built-in battery that provides up to 9 hours of gameplay. And the battery kinda drains depending on what kind of games you play. For example, if you play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or the Tears of the Kingdom, it may eat your battery up when playing on portable mode, so you might want to keep in mind of that. So if you want to know which Switch console has the most battery and which has the least battery, here are the following Switch consoles models and the product serial numbers. For the original Switch release, when it's first released in 2017, model number HAC-001, with the product serial number that begins XAW. The battery life will be approximately up to 2.5 to 6.5 hours. If you have a second revision of the original Nintendo Switch console, model number HAC-001 in parentheses -01 end parentheses with the serial number XKW, then its battery will be increased up to 4.5 to 9 hours. If you have a Switch Lite, then with this model number HDH-001, then its battery life will be up to 3 to 7 hours. And lastly, the latest version of the Nintendo Switch, the OLED model, with the model number HEG-001 with the product serial number XDW. The battery life will be expanded up to 4.5 to 9 hours, which is the same thing as the second revision of the original Nintendo Switch console. So once again, the Nintendo Switch you own may be different, and the battery will also be different, so be sure to read the model number and the product serial number to know how much battery life that your console may have. And the very last thing I want to talk about is the Nintendo Switch's built-in features. Now before I do, I just want to let you all know this is going to be the most longest of all of the 3 parts I did, but I hope you guys stick around to the very end. The Nintendo Switch will provide a constant bi-monthly to semi-annual updates to the user experience, along with system hotfixes and bugs. But nowadays, updates are drastically become more slower and less influential to the customer's experience. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong about the minor bugs and hotfixes. I mean, honestly, we don't care about those. What we should care about, though, on second thought. But what we want to see is brand new features that are added to the current Switch consoles and to the OLED models that we never got to see the light of the day since its previous hardware. Here are the list of features that we want to see in the next upcoming updates for the Nintendo Switch's operating system. And of course, this has to be effective for any older Switch models, including the Switch Revision 1, Revision 2, the Switch Lite, and its current OLED model. Number 1. Wii U and 3DS exclusive remasters. On one hand, Nintendo prefers having to port an old Wii U and 3DS game than rather having an expanded disc accessory to make him look like more of a Nintendo Wii U second cousin than it already looks. Clearly, they don't want to make the same mistake again. But on the other hand, exclusive Wii U and 3DS titles like the first Splatoon game, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Smash 4, Nintendo Land, Tomodachi Life, Fire Emblem Awakening, and Fates, including the 3 different Fire Emblem games that were exclusively for the 3DS, and Kid Icarus Uprising, and Dylan's Rolling Western have not yet fully received a remastered Switch port. And speaking of which, some 3DS exclusives from the 3DS eShop deserve to be ported rather than being left behind in the dark. The Switch, according to its internal game slot, does not support any DS or 3DS cartridges natively according to this design. Honestly, that's a big design flaw. What if I want to play DS or 3DS games from the past? Sounds like to me it was a big mistake. And of course, the Nintendo Switch should have the power to emulate any DS and 3DS game, including DSi games. Of course, it will not have any 3D technology, but who really needs to play 3DS games in 3D when you can just play it fine in 2D? Ahem, Super Mario 3D Land. Number 2, Virtual Console. While we're talking about the subject of past generation Nintendo consoles and their games, let's talk about Virtual Console. I honestly believe and heavily believe that we should be able to have a newer and improved Virtual Console instead of paying a monthly and an exorbitant online membership in order to access through all our beloved classics. I mean, look at the Wii U, and the 3DS. They were perfectly able to utilize Virtual Console, and we can get them for a very cheap price. So why can't the Switch do that too? We should be able to have the right to directly download either a free demo or buy a full digital version of any GameCube, Game Boy, N64, Famicom, Super Famicom, N64, DS, 3DS, DSi, or Wii U game without having to pay an arm or a leg for it for a decent price. Take it from the video made by Uncle Al. He seems to get the idea. Otherwise, we'll have to resort to software piracy, which is something that Nintendo despises. And of course, let's all be honest. I use Dolphin for pretty much my playthroughs and RetroArch, so why bother? Number 3, themes. All we have is the same old boring black and white theme, without any patterns or any form of shapes. I mean, take it from the old SpongeBob episode where the Krusty Krab becomes all dusty and spiderwebby until the one guy crawling in goes, "Oh, where's the pizzazz? I mean, look at this place. What is the theme here? It's boring!" I could honestly say the same thing for the Switch themes. Where's the pizzazz? I mean, look at this. What is the theme here? Basic and simple? It's boring. Look at the 3DS. They had themes. You can go to the eShop and download free themes, or even buy themes whenever you want. And this may be out of the subject, but if you have a hacked 3DS, you can upload any picture you want on the 3DS and customize it into a theme. You better take note, Nintendo. Number 4, the kickstand. Yes, the Switch OLED model does have a new kickstand instead of that one little table flap, but why not release a protective shell with an improved kickstand and a sweat grip for older models in the Switch, and even release one for the Switch Mini? Number 5, enhanced Bluetooth. I actually have mentioned Bluetooth before earlier, but I'm going to talk more on the Bluetooth. So on September 14, 2021, Nintendo released a firmware update on version 13.000 where Bluetooth audio support was finally added. Unfortunately, at the time there was some audio delays, and of course the Bluetooth audio cannot be connected while using local wireless communication. And of course Bluetooth microphones were also not supported. Neither is using third-party Bluetooth controllers, like the Xbox One or the PS4, the PS5. None of the third-party Bluetooth controllers are supported. Only the Nintendo brand. In order to actually use the Xbox One or the PS4 or the PS3, Xbox 360 or PS5 controllers, you actually need to use a USB dongle in order to use any off-brand Bluetooth controller. Which, I wish you could do that, but for legal reasons, I don't think that's going to be possible. So if anything, they'll force you to use a USB dongle. But I still wish that you can use an Xbox One and a PS5 controller so you can play any game you want. So that way we don't have to rely on Joy-Cons that often. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get back on track. So then 14.0 now introduced some advancements with the Bluetooth audio behavior, and the volumes were fixed. But if you have headphones that were automatically set to max, it will for some reason turn down the volume to prevent from the users going deaf. However, there are some certain limitations when it comes to Bluetooth and of course the headphone support. So if you want to read the listed update history, the link will be down in the description below. There we'll see a huge history of change logs from there, including the latest version. Number 6, redesigned Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons, again, they're pretty similar to the Wiimotes, and they are very cool and small and easy to use, but there are a few design flaws. One of the major design flaws is the controller stick drift that Nintendo alleged that they denied, but then officially had controller, support services. According to Eurogamer, after a few use, the Nintendo Joy-Cons' plastic circuit boards show significant wear on the joystick slider contact points. So meaning, if you play games like Mario Kart, or if you happen to be streaming any FPS games or something, or if you're like a heavy competitor like playing Smash competitively with the Joy-Cons, they might easily wear out. Also, the ergonomics on the Nintendo Switch's Joy-Cons might need some tweaking to do, because some players' hands may get very sweaty and the battery could overheat, causing them to lose their grip. Even if you have the Joy-Con strap on, you'll feel like you dropped it or something. I remember that one time when I had to have like a Wii remote and a nunchuck. I was sitting on the couch the one day, and then of course when I was trying to play Donkey Kong Country Returns, I accidentally broke one of the nunchucks and it caused us to stiff drift. Yeah, probably because I was, I dropped it, but they're just very cheap and kind of a little easier to break. Maybe it's because I bought a third-party one instead of the official ones. Other way, it should be durable and very, very stiff in order to use it. I mean, the buttons, they stick very easily because they're way too small. And the analog sticks, after playing Smash or playing FPS games like Doom or Overwatch or Fortnite, the control sticks buttons don't even click after you played them. In fact, one of my Joy-Cons buttons don't click, probably because of the taunts I use for Smash, so they wore after 5 months of use. So maybe they should probably go back to the drawing board and probably figure out how to improve the Joy-Con design and in its buttons, and of course the ergonomics, based on the players' reactions and their demands. Number 7. Improved online connectivity and updated physical servers. Nintendo's physical servers used for internet connections and online play hasn't been updated since the invention of Nintendo Wi-Fi connection back in 2004 when the DS was still out at the time. The service is still shut down to this day, but the actual servers that they use in their server farm are still in use for the Nintendo Switch's online service, and they desperately in need of a massive upgrade. Nintendo should have the money to do it, but they really just don't care. Honestly, having to connect to the internet into Nintendo's older servers, it kind of feels like you're stuck in the 90s internet, or probably at 200 megabit internet speeds back then. Right now, we can connect to internet speed to up to at least 1 gigabyte. That's even faster than a Formula 1 race car. Okay, maybe not that fast, but maybe faster as like a Lamborghini or something. Actually, no, even faster, a Bugatti. No, even faster, a rocket ship. That's how fast it goes. Internet speeds goes as fast as a rocket ship. That's how it goes. And of course, they need to upgrade to the newest, latest, and the fastest. And of course, with 6G and probably 6G Elite on the way, but Nintendo might need to find a way to utilize the advanced technology in the next generation of high-speed gaming. Of course, the Switch does run 5G internet connections, but the servers dedicated to play online games lacks optimization and, most importantly, rollback netcode, which is something that most games should use when it comes to online multiplayer, especially games like Super Smash Bros. So if anything, learn from Dragon Ball FighterZ. They've learned how to manage rollback netcode and be able to provide online play optimization for all consoles, even if consoles don't have crossplay. You know what I mean? Number 8, 4K upscaling, ray tracing, and DLSS. And this is probably something that Nintendo will never do unless they have the money for it. But come on, let's all face it. It has come to a point where Nintendo is far behind catching up with Sony and Microsoft in terms of quality. I know Nintendo does not want to use their expenses to go out with a brand new console that is designed for the ultimate pro gamer, because they would rather make a console that is, you know, simple and enjoyable for all of your friends and family, because they're a family computer entertainment company. Thus the name Famicom. But ever since the release of the 360 and the PS3, the Wii can be able to play games up to 480p. Yes, you can use a component cable, and of course you can upscale it to 480p to make things a little more sharper and less jacketed. But then you had an HDMI port. Of course, you could just use like an off-brand HDMI port and just plug it in. But the HDMI port didn't officially cave into the console until the Wii U's release. Like, sheesh! What took you guys so long? Now they have to wait until like the PS5 and Xbox to have to go up to like HDMI 3.0, 3.1, or 4.0 or 4.1 or something. And at this point, Nintendo is gonna probably put 4K quality until like 2030 something. It took you guys probably like until 2011 to get to HDMI. And now you guys want to wait like 8 to another 11 years to switch to 4K? That doesn't make any sense. look, say what you want about 4K, say what you want about Nintendo doesn't have the money to have 4K or ultra upscaling DLSS technology like what PC gamers do, but come on, Nintendo is a multi-million-dollar company. If they have the money to do that, I'm sure they have the money to do that. They're just stubborn old fucks and they don't want to. Number 9, external storage support. Alongside a more powerful processor, 4K, AI upscaling, and ray tracing, the next subject that we also have to address here is storage. While the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X both use an internal storage up to 1 terabyte, or for the PS5, like somewhere about 800 gigs in internal storage. Talk about false advertising right there. The Switch only uses of 32 and 64 gigs of internal flash memory. And I know, millions of you guys are already going to say, use an SD card! You don't have to tell me that twice. If you watch that Switch OLED video made by some oriented gamers, aka Mutahar, well, he perfectly summed up that video pretty well. I'll even play the clip right now, just to prove a point.
And before anybody says, but Muda, you can use a SD card. Listen, I want the onboard shit to be sizable too, alongside the SD card. I'm not asking for much. Most systems these days come with a 1 terabyte SSD. This is fucking flash memory, alright? Stop defending them. 64 gigs is not enough for gamers these days.
Alright, now for number 10, sharing captured gameplay videos. You know what really grinds my gears? Why is it that the only games that can share clips are Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, and Splatoon 2? When Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mario Odyssey or even Fortnite cannot. Yes, I do get that the Smash Ultimate game does have video editor, you got me there. I mean, what if you... But let's say you get a very epic trick shot or a funny clip, and if you want to upload it into the internet, you know, quicker, faster, and easy, like up to 5 minutes of video coverage. By default, it should take like about 10 seconds, and then you can change, like, if you want to stream or share a clip for 3 minutes of footage, then you can just do that the same way how you do it for the Xbox. I mean, it just doesn't make sense why most 95% of Switch games won't utilize the share button to actually capture gameplay videos. The share button on the Joy-Cons can't capture any video games longer than 30 seconds. So if anything, don't block most games for sharing clips. And of course, I should also note, if you are a streamer, then just get a capture card and then stream yourself in order to do that. But I really honestly don't need a gaming PC or a capture card in order to stream myself getting a trick shot. I mean, what if it happens outside of recording? Can I not just share that? And I guess some people have their cameras and of course, you know, they want to, you know, quickly capture whatever trick shot you have, or you could just pull up the replay on the Smash Ultimate and just capture it already. Okay, well, you got me there. You got me there. That's fine. But all I'm just saying is, if the share button on the Switch controller, like whether you use the Joy-Cons or the wired or wireless the Switch Pro controllers, it does not allow you to capture any video clips from the console itself, then why is that not possible? Why isn't that possible? And they'll be like, it's just not. Why not, you stupid bastards? And of course, the last topic I want to talk about is transferring game data. I've already have mentioned about transferring game data back in the last phase, but I feel like transferring game data should be, talked about. So the game data you save on the Nintendo Switch can be only stored on the console's internal memory, and it cannot be saved or moved into an external device, i.e. a micro SD card. But why? Why is that? We can only transfer the update data and the DLC, but we cannot transfer the game data? Or probably move some data over and copy or paste some data to an SD card or another Switch? And what about games that are digitally purchased from the eShop? Can't not they also be transferred too? I mean, for example, if I buy Shantae digitally, and then of course download it and play it, and the game data is stored on the internal memory, why can I not just save all of my game data plus the update data and DLC onto the SD card rather than the internal storage? I mean, look at the Xbox, look at the PlayStation. They can do it too. For PC users, you can definitely use it by default. So why can't the Switch too? It just doesn't make any sense. I've been using a PC for a long time. I've been having to transfer, copy, and save data on multiple devices all the time. And probably the Xbox and PlayStation has gone so far to do so. So why is it that Nintendo Switch can't do it? The Wii can't transfer game data from internal storage onto an SD card as well. Not even the DS, or probably the DSi, not even the 3DS or Wii U. Why is that? At this certain point, all rants and complaints on the side, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of major flaws that the Switch has in terms of software and user experience, and of course the customer's feedback. But I'm pretty sure if Nintendo spends a lot more time focusing not just only the games, but what the console needs to be improved, then perhaps the Switch can last longer. But as far as we go here on from 2024 all the way into the future, you're probably wondering what's in store for the Nintendo Switch. Well, what I truly would love to see is not only the Paper Mario GameCube remaster, Luigi's Mansion 3, but Metroid Prime 4, and possibly the next Smash game too. And with the rumors swirling around about a possible Switch 2, or as I like to call it, the Nintendo Switch Mark II. And of course with new upgraded hardware and the same AI and the same UI for the current Nintendo Switch consoles, it's still pretty clear that Nintendo still have to at some point push the boundaries of what their current gaming console can be, even if it's not their target demographic. They still need to catch up, otherwise they'll get left behind, and probably they'll be outbest by PlayStation at this point. So yeah, even the goods of the Switch, the bads and the uglies of the Switch. But I am happy and I am lucky, satisfied that I own the Switch. And of course, I expect many great things for the Nintendo Switch as time to come. So in conclusion, happy 7th anniversary to the Nintendo Switch, and I would like to make a toast to many more years of great gaming goodness.